No, Smokey Robinson's 85th birthday arrived without spectacle, yet the air around him felt charged with meaning. Friends and admirers couldn't help but comment on his youthful glow, and Smokey responded with that familiar, gentle laugh, saying he felt closer to 50 than 85. It wasn't bravado. It was gratitude. Nearly 9 decades of living had shaped him into a man comfortable with reflection, humor, and peace. His voice, once a soundtrack to romance across generations, still carried warmth rather than weight. Behind the smiles was a lifetime of creation, sacrifice, and perseverance. Fame never erased his humility, and time never dulled his curiosity. As he stood at this milestone, Smokey embodied something rare, an artist who survived success without losing himself. His birthday wasn't just a celebration of years lived, but of moments felt, lessons learned, and music that continues to breathe long after the final note fades. Roots in Detroit. Before the stages and spotlights, Smokey Robinson was William Robinson Jr., a quiet, observant child growing up in Detroit's North End. The neighborhood pulsed with sound, church hymns, street corner harmonies, radios humming through open windows. Life wasn't easy, but it was rich in connection. His mother, Flossie, was steady and determined, anchoring the household with discipline and love. His sister, Geraldine, offered guidance beyond her years, becoming a second pillar of support. His father, though caring, was often absent, navigating unstable work in an unforgiving era. That inconsistency left Smokey searching for reassurance, shaping his emotional sensitivity. Detroit itself became a teacher, its music and resilience seeping into his bones. He listened more than he spoke, absorbing melodies and moods. Those early experiences quietly planted the seed for a songwriter who would one day give voice to feelings millions struggled to articulate. Discovering his voice music didn't arrive in Smokey's life as ambition, it came as instinct. As a teenager, he began writing lyrics in notebooks, not chasing fame, but searching for expression. Songs became places where emotions felt safe and understandable. Influenced by artists like Jackie Wilson and Nolan Strong, he studied harmonies with reverence, treating music as both craft and conversation. School mattered less than the moments after class, when friends gathered to sing and experiment. Smokey wasn't loud or commanding. His leadership was quiet, built on listening and refinement. Even then, his Buredina carried softness without weakness, emotion without excess. Writing felt like translating something internal into sound. Those notebooks filled with unfinished thoughts and melodies weren't plans. They were promises he didn't yet know how to keep. Still, he believed, deeply and privately, that music might someday open doors beyond the city limits he knew so well. The birth of a group friendship became Smokey's first platform. Alongside classmates, he shamanseed vocal groups that evolved organically. First the Five Chimes, then the Matadors, and finally the Miracles. Rehearsals happened wherever space allowed, living rooms, basements, borrowed corners of time. They shared microphones, dreams, and belief. No one imagined luxury. Success meant being heard. Smokey's voice, gentle yet clear, stood out not because it demanded attention, but because it invited trust. Every harmony was built through patience, every lyric revised with care. The group wasn't chasing trends, they were building identity. There were setbacks, rejections, and long waits, but no resentment. Each obstacle reinforced their commitment. What held them together wasn't certainty of success, but certainty of purpose. They believed their sound mattered, even if the world hadn't caught up yet. That belief would soon meet opportunity, becoming more than a performer. As the 1960s unfolded, Smokey's role expanded far beyond the microphone. He became a songwriter and producer whose influence shaped Motown's identity. While others thrived on showmanship, Smokey thrived on craft. He wrote with empathy, capturing vulnerability without sentimentality. His songs for The Temptations, Mary Wells, and Marvin Gaye weren't formulaic. They were intimate conversations set to melody. In the studio, he was meticulous and patient, guiding artists without overshadowing them. Leadership came naturally, not through authority, but respect. By mid-decade, Smokey was balancing performance with mentorship, learning how to nurture others without neglecting himself. Yet the workload was immense. Creativity became structured, time became scarce, and rest became optional. Still, Smokey believed in the mission. He wasn't building a brand. He was building a legacy. That belief carried him through years of relentless production and responsibility. Architect of a movement, Motown wasn't just a label, it was a cultural force, and Smokey Robinson was one of its chief architects. As vice president, he carried responsibilities that extended far beyond songwriting. He helped shape the label's sound, values, and internal culture. Smokey became a bridge between creative freedom and commercial success. Younger artists looked to him for guidance, seeing someone who led without ego. He listened carefully, offered thoughtful feedback, and protected emotional authenticity. Yet, leadership carried weight. Expectations multiplied and personal space diminished. Smokey often put others first, believing service was part of success. While audiences saw elegance and ease, behind the scenes he navigated pressure quietly. The balance between art and administration was delicate. Still, Smokey remained committed, trusting that integrity would outlast trends. His contribution wasn't just music, it was stability during a time of rapid change. Love and partnership. In 1959, Smokey married Claudette Rogers, his bandmate and creative equally. Their relationship grew from shared ambition and long rehearsals into deep companionship. Together, they navigated early success with mutual respect. Claudette was strong, composed, and resilient, balancing performance with personal challenges. Publicly, they were admired as a symbol of unity. Privately, life was more complex. Touring, recording schedules, and constant movement strained normal rhythms. Smokey, juggling expanding responsibilities, struggled to be fully present at home. Their love didn't disappear, it evolved under pressure. Both carried unspoken fatigue, choosing grace over conflict. They supported each other quietly even as demands mounted. Their marriage reflected the realities of two driven individuals growing within an unforgiving industry. It wasn't failure, it was adaptation. Their shared history remained meaningful, rooted in respect and shared contribution to something larger than either of them alone. The cost of success. As Motown thrived, the cost of sustaining excellence became more apparent. Long hours blurred into years, and rest became secondary to expectation. Smokey was admired, relied upon, and constantly needed. The discipline that once felt empowering began to feel heavy. Success demanded consistency, and consistency demanded sacrifice. There was little room for vulnerability. Smokey learned to compartmentalize, keeping personal struggles private. Leadership left him admired but often isolated. Creativity remained, but joy required intention. He began questioning balance, not abandoning ambition, but redefining fulfillment. The pressure wasn't dramatic, it was cumulative. Every responsibility added weight. Smokey didn't resent his journey, but he recognized the need for reflection. Fame hadn't broken him, it had stretched him. Understanding that truth was the first step toward a more sustainable way of living and creating. Shifting landscapes. The move of Motown to Los Angeles marked a cultural shift. The collaborative intimacy of Detroit gave way to a faster, more commercial environment. Smokey adapted professionally, but emotionally the change was jarring. New voices entered, competition intensified, and familiarity faded. Smokey valued consistency, and instability challenged his creative rhythm. At home, long separations created quiet distance. His marriage evolved naturally, shaped by time and circumstance rather than conflict. Professionally, creative disagreement surfaced as leadership structures changed. Smokey found himself reflecting more, questioning what he wanted from the next chapter. He wasn't chasing relevance, he was seeking alignment. The industry was changing, and so was he. Recognizing that shift required courage. Instead of resisting, Smokey began listening inward, preparing for a transition that would prioritize personal clarity alongside artistic purpose. Reflection and transition. By the early 1980s, Smokey reached a crossroads defined by introspection. Years of responsibility had taught him much, but also revealed what he had postponed. His marriage to Claudette ended quietly in 1986, not from bitterness, but from recognition that both had grown in different directions. The separation was handled with dignity and respect. Smokey turned inward, examining habits, choices, and emotional patterns. Reflection wasn't indulgent, it was necessary. He understood that growth required honesty. Rather than retreat, he recommitted to self-discipline and spiritual grounding. These years weren't marked by retreat from music, but by renewed intention. Smokey wasn't reinventing himself, he was returning to himself. That distinction mattered. He embraced responsibility for his well-being, understanding that longevity required balance. This period became a foundation, not an ending. Out of music in 1987, Smokey released One Heartbeat, an album that reflected personal renewal. The music was calm, confident, and emotionally grounded. His voice carried clarity shaped by experience rather than urgency. Listeners heard not just artistry, but alignment. The album wasn't chasing trends. It trusted authenticity. Smokey had faced challenges and emerged steadier. Creativity flowed from discipline and self-awareness. On stage, his presence felt centered, not performative. This phase reaffirmed that growth doesn't dim artistry, it deepens it. Smokey demonstrated that reinvention doesn't require abandoning identity. Instead, it requires listening. One Heartbeat became a reminder that resilience can sound gentle and strength doesn't need volume. It marked a chapter where personal clarity and creative expression finally moved in harmony, reinforcing his place not just as a legend, but as a living, evolving artist. A new chapter of love. In 2002, Smokey married Frances Gladney, a relationship rooted in friendship and shared values. This chapter of his life was quieter, more intentional. There was no need for public display, only mutual respect and companionship. Together, they cultivated privacy and stability, prioritizing presence over performance. Smokey approached love differently now, shaped by experience and reflection. This partnership reflected growth, not correction. It was about peace, not repair. With Frances, Smokey embraced a rhythm of life that supported creativity without consuming it. The balance he once searched for felt natural. Their relationship wasn't defined by spotlight, but by consistency. It represented the reward of patience and self-understanding. Smokey didn't abandon ambition, he contextualized it. Love became a space of grounding, reinforcing the idea that fulfillment is built slowly, with intention and care. A living legacy. Smokey Robinson's influence transcends charts and accolades. His songs shaped how generations understand love, vulnerability, and connection. Artists across genres cite him not just as inspiration, but as blueprint. His writing proved that gentleness could be powerful. His leadership showed that success didn't require domination. Beyond music, Smokey modeled longevity through humility. He adapted without erasing himself. His legacy lives not only in recordings, but in the emotional vocabulary he expanded. People didn't just listen to his songs, they felt understood by them. That connection is rare. Smokey's work remains relevant because it speaks to universal acceptance. Time hasn't aged it. It has clarified it. His contribution is measured not in sales, but in resonance. The quiet boy from Detroit gave the world a language for love that continues to echo. Aging with grace. At 85, Smokey Robinson reflects without regret. Aging, for him, isn't decline. It's accumulation. Every experience added texture rather than weight. He speaks with gratitude, not nostalgia. His voice, though softer, carries wisdom. Creativity remains, not driven by urgency, but by joy. Smokey continues to perform, not to prove relevance, but to share presence. He understands that time is a collaborator, not an enemy. Aging taught him patience, clarity, and appreciation. The industry changed, the world changed, but his essence remained. He embraced evolution without fear. Smokey's grace lies in acceptance of past choices, present reality, and future uncertainty. His life demonstrates that fulfillment isn't about avoiding mistakes, but learning from them. Aging well, he shows, is an art built on honesty, curiosity, and kindness toward oneself. Music is connection for Smokey. Music was never about control. It was about connection. His songs invited listeners into shared emotional space. Love wasn't idealized, it was human. Heartbreak wasn't dramatized, it was acknowledged. That honesty built trust. Music became a bridge across generations, cultures, and experiences. Smokey believed that if a song felt true, it would find its audience. That belief guided every lyric. He didn't chase trends, he chased sincerity. Even now, his catalog continues to comfort, inspire, and heal. Music in his hands became a form of empathy. He reminded the world that softness is strength and vulnerability is courage. That philosophy shaped his life as much as his art. Smokey's connection to music remains reciprocal. It gives as much as it receives, sustaining both artist and listener. A life fully lived. Smokey Robinson's life is not defined by perfection, but by intention. From Detroit streets to global stages, his journey reflects dedication to craft and character. Every chapter carried lessons, not losses. He embraced complexity without surrendering grace. Fame never replaced self-awareness. Success never eclipsed humanity. Smokey's story reminds us that greatness can be quiet, leadership can be gentle, and endurance can be elegant. His life demonstrates that growth doesn't end. It evolves. At 85, he stands not as a monument, but as a testament. A man who listened, learned, and gave. His legacy isn't frozen in time. It lives, breathes, and continues to influence. Smokey Robinson didn't just make music. He made space for feeling, reflection, and connection.